Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Monday again, and in case you missed last week's newsletter drop, don't worry, we got you covered in under 5 minutes. Lou, why don't you tell them about the piece that you wrote on this week's blog about raising prices?
Listen up, business owners. You'll take on debt, hire people, sign contracts, but raise prices 8%, and suddenly you're rehearsing an apology speech. The point is simple. Underpricing isn't a math issue. It's emotional. You don't want to lose people. You don't want to feel greedy. Meanwhile, thin margins quietly choke growth. If your pricing can't fund hiring, reinvestment, or even a buffer, you're basically working hard for what? Go check it out at creditbank.io and then rethink your prices.
Chips in Arizona, glass in Kentucky, silicon in Texas? Yep. Apple just committed over $600 billion to U.S. production. Lou, I know you're going to love this. Why? Because most advanced chips come out of Taiwan, and they want to move the supply chain closer to here, because we all know what's going on over there these days.
And the guac is still extra, buddy, with those chips. Matt, really what happens here is, so Apple is pulling supply chains closer because when things feel uncertain, you localize. And there's obviously a political theory there. Control your inputs, you reduce your exposure. Moral of the story, don't leave your future dependent on something you can't influence or control. And right now, global economics, you can't control those.
Look, truth of the matter is this should have been done years ago.
USA.
Now, speaking of production changes, I love this one. The FDA just came out and announced that you don't have to go through phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials anymore to get a drug approved. Now, I remember when I was on Wall Street, we used to raise money for smaller biotechnology companies that wanted to bring a new drug to market. And these companies need to consistently raise money just to get to a phase 1 trial, right? If they had a successful drug during a phase 1 trial, one of the bigger pharmaceutical companies would come in and gobble them up and pay for the phase 2. Now these smaller biotech companies actually have a chance because the FDA just came out and said, we don't need 1 and 2. 1 phase will just be good enough for us. And that's going to save these companies over $350 million per drug to get approved. This is huge.
Now, what does that mean, Matt? Less spend on R&D, less cost to the consumer. Win-win for everybody. And frankly, the technology is there to a point where we don't need that much study in assessing the efficiency and safety of these drugs.
Which also means lower drug prices in the US. Like if you the main reason drugs are so expensive here is one, because we pay. I mean, Trump just lowered that, which is great. But at the end of the day, if less money goes into R&D research, they could put the drug out and make their money back in a faster period of time. You know, the haters are going to hate it. Less regulation. Let's just hope we all don't take a pill and grow another arm. Lou, what's going on over there with the private equity world?
Matt, for years, cheap debt made everything look brilliant. Buy it, add leverage, sell it, repeat. We had a battle plan for private equity buying small businesses over the last decade. But now, rates are higher. Returns from 22 through Q3 of 25 were about half the S&P, which doesn't really make sense for investments. Fundraising is down, exits are slower, and now we're talking about letting 401ks invest in private equity.
Listen, I have no problem with that. First of all, again, this should have been done years ago. If it's my money that I can save on retirement and you're telling me it has to be in a 401k plan, cool. But let me steer that ship. Let me captain it and say where I want it to go. Don't force me to be in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds just to prop up the markets, okay? I believe there's a spot in anybody's retirement plan, whether it's IRA or 401k, in the private equity world. I mean, listen, think about it like this. Stripe just came out and raised another round of financing. They're going to be $1 trillion company, and they're still private. Their IPO, if they ever go IPO, will be $1 trillion. Now, when the CEO was on CNBC asking if he's ever going to go public, his response was, why? I have enough money that I need. Why do I need to deal with the ups and downs and liquidity issues of the public markets? when my business is just doing great.
Which is exactly why this next story matters a whole lot. Matt, if you recall, a few weeks ago, we talked about manufactured housing with Matthias Grunwald on the Liquid Lunch Project podcast. They're not glamorous or trendy, but they're steady as all hell. As affordability tightens, demand moves down the ladder. The crowd chases headlines, the smart money studies necessity. The lesson isn't buy mobile home parks, it's everyone agrees on the obvious play. The edge is probably somewhere else.
Oh, 1000%. And I think he was a rock star, and what he's doing is actually brilliant. I mean, with the housing shortage that we have here in the United States, and you're able to put one of these manufactured homes up relatively cheap and relatively quickly, it's a home run. It's a no-brainer.
And now, Matthew, for some quick hits from around the web.
So it looks like prediction markets are still exploding, and they're about to go even higher. Look, Lou, we can bet on everything from elections, war, rate cuts, cabinet reshuffles, you name it. There was actually a bet on there on how long Donald Trump was going to speak at the State of the Union for. It's amazing. I like it. Anything with less regulation, I'm in favor of. But there's still a huge debate going on out there. Wall Street's calling it innovation, and lawmakers, well, they're calling it the wild, wild west. But they used to do that with Bitcoin too, so we'll see what happens there.
If everyone loves this newsletter, please stand up. Man, that DT47, he's got stand-up comedy timing. The guy's good. The Olympics wrapped with Italian bagpipers and kilts, honoring Scottish curling, of all things. Frozen rocks, Venetian accents, somehow the Italians pulled it off. This was one of the great Winter Olympics of all time.
I'm still trying to find the punchline there. Italian bagpipers and Scottish curling. An Italian bagpiper walks into a bar.
We all just get along during the Olympics. It's all great. Apparently, the condom usage at the Olympics was at an all-time high. I mean, I guess that testosterone was flying high in Milan.
All right, so Lou, there was just an article that came out that said scrolling on TikTok in short-form videos actually makes you dumber. But get this, Lou. Birdwatching actually rewires your brain. Experts are showing structural differences tied to memory and attention. You are in, buddy. Go out there, yell cedar waxwing. You knew this all along.
Big theme this week. Price like you mean it, control what you can, and don't chase what's loud. All right, that's a wrap. Subscribe to the Weekly on Substack for the full breakdown. Catch you next week.